Maritime English. Conversations on Merchant Vessel. Chapter 5, KYT, Kiken Yochi Training. 57 What is KYT?
Elon, Chief Officer, I often hear the letters KYT. What do they mean? Chief Officer, KYT is the abbreviation for Kiken Yochi Training. Kiken Yochi is Japanese. Kiken means danger, risk, or hazard. Yochi means precaution or foreseeing. Elon, what kind of training is it? Chief Officer, the training improves your ability to predict danger. It is a group exercise. We share information between ourselves on danger hazards. We learn an ability to use hand signals to direct each important point of a job, and then we try to prevent the danger through teamwork. Elon, so we enhance our ability to foresee danger by training each other? Chief Officer, basically speaking, yes. Accidents happen, and when they do, there are many casualties, so we work hard to be able to sense any possible danger better. Elon, how do we train to gain this ability? Chief Officer, well, for example, you can point your finger to warn others of some danger. Also, you should be aware of any problem with your fellow crew members' physical condition by talking with them at our morning meetings, and you should discuss any risks or dangers that exist in the workplace, etc. Elon, that sounds interesting. When do we get this training? Chief Officer, we have safety meetings every morning. That's when we practice our KYT methods.
Abbreviation, short form, contraction. Hazard, danger, risk. Precaution, a measure taken in advance to stop any unwanted developments. Foreseeing, ability to see things before they occur. Predict, ability to know things before they occur. Hand signal, making signs with the hands to give certain messages. Enhance, to promote, to make more of something. Casualties, injuries, including deaths. Physical condition, a person's health. Practice, to carry out, to do.
58 KYT, 4 rounds method. Second Officer, today we will practice the 4 rounds method. I want you all to remember this well, as it is one of the basic KYT methods. I'll summarize the method for you first. We determine the roles of the leader and the others. The leader will ask you to stand in a row and will do a roll call. He'll then ask about each person's health. After that, we'll proceed to the first of the 4 rounds. Please refer to the details listed on the handout.
Johnny, sir, can I mention anything that I would consider a danger during round 1?
Second Officer, of course you can. Don't hesitate to speak up. During round 1, just make sure that when you foresee some possible danger, you can explain what causes it.
Elon, sir, my role is to write down the dangers. Do I have to summarize the opinions given?
Second Officer, no, you don't. You can write as much as you like.
Johnny, sir, during round 2, do we have to decide the dangerous points by a majority?
Second Officer, no, you don't. All attendants should agree. Actually, I don't think that you will have a problem agreeing. I am sure your decisions will be unanimous. During round 3, try to figure out preventive methods in a practical manner. And then, during round 4, we'll decide on a team action plan.
Summarize, to state something using a few words. Determine, to make a decision, decide. Do a roll call, call people's names out one by one to check if they are present. Proceed to move forward to the next step or process. Hand out, printed materials or other things given to people. Mention, say, speak, bring up. Hesitate to refrain from saying or doing something. By a majority, by agreement of more than half of the people present. Unanimous, by agreement of all the people present. Preventive, measures that can help stop something. In a practical manner, rationally, logically, making sense. Action plan, a schedule or plan to do something.
59 KYT, morning meeting in the general office. Chief Officer, let's start the meeting. Today's practice concerns chipping and painting on the starboard crane. Please be careful because this is a dangerous job. Also, the sea is even rougher today than it was yesterday. Alex, can we hook our safety belts to the safety line at the same place as yesterday? Chief Officer, we will decide this later, once we are at the site. Bosun, the deck seems very slippery today. Be careful on the crane. Remember, you must pay attention to your work or you might get hurt. Chief Officer, hold on to something when you move around so you won't slip. Bosun, we should carry our tools to the crane first. Then, Raymond will climb up the crane and haul them up. Nobody should be carrying anything while climbing the crane. Alex, yes, sir. If we put the tools in a half-cut can, we can pick them up better. Bosun, but be careful not to drop any tools. Also, don't stand under the crane where falling tools can hit you. Chief Officer, okay, now let's review what we've discussed so far. But before we do that, let's do touch and call together. All, safety first. Safety first, safety first, safety first, safety first, safety first, go.
Chipping, action of removing something little by little. Starboard crane, the crane located on the right-hand side of a ship. Hook, to connect or secure on. Safety line, a wire or rope provided to enhance safety. Slippery, easy to make people slip or fall, slick. Haul, to pull, tug. Touch and call, a gesture of touching one another and loudly crying out a slogan.
60 KYT, toolbox meeting in the engine control room. First engineer, good morning, everyone. Third engineer, did you sleep well last night? Johnny, yes, I slept very well. I feel great today. First engineer, that's good. Okay. Let's start today's meeting. I wrote our 3 tasks for today on this whiteboard. Second engineer, will you explain the first task in detail, using 5W1H? Second engineer, yes, sir. The first task is to overhaul the main engine's exhaust valve. I will be the leader, and the number 1 oiler and the third engineer will work together with me. Our job is to clean the inside of the valve and to change all of the O-rings and seat rings. First engineer, thank you. Let me know when you are about to take out the valve spindle and take off the valve seat. Pay attention to the following points so that you don't get injured. Avoid dust, which can get in your eyes, nose, and mouth. Avoid getting your fingers caught in the gaps between the spindle or the valve seat and the casing body. Not to get hit by the spindle or the valve seat if the ship moves suddenly. Be careful that the spindle or the valve seat doesn't fall on you if a haul wire breaks when shifting the load. Third engineer, will you repeat these points? Johnny, yes, sir.
Task, a job that needs to be done, duty. 5W1H, interrogatives, e.g., who, what, when, where, why, and how. Overhaul, disassemble something and clean up the inside, repair or restore to original condition. Exhaust valve, a valve fitted at the exit side. O-rings, round pieces used for scaling or shock absorbing purposes. Seat rings, a ring fitted on a structure where a valve sits. Valve spindle, usually a metallic rod which causes the valve to move. Valve seat, place where a valve is fitted. Spindle, a long rod-like structure which serves as an axis for a revolving part. Haul wire, a metallic wire or line used to pull something.
61 A meeting in the engine control room. First engineer, good morning, everyone. It will be a hot day today. Wiper, you don't look well. What's wrong? Wiper, I'm fine. Just a little sleepy. I was reading last night until quite late. First engineer, being tired makes you less attentive. That can lead to accidents. Be very careful. I've written today's tasks on the whiteboard. Does anyone have anything else to add? Number 1 oiler, during the M0 check this morning, I found out that the delivery pressure of the number 1 main engine fuel oil supply pump was 0.5 kilograms per square centimeter lower than usual. First engineer, is that so? I didn't notice. He exits the control room to confirm the information and comes back a few minutes later. Number 1 oiler, you're right. Its suction pressure is lower, too. Dirt must have accumulated in the suction strainer and caused this pressure drop. One of today's scheduled tasks was to clean the fuel oil pump. Third engineer, I want you to do this job and take number 1 oiler and the wiper to help you. Number 1 oiler, after we finish cleaning the fuel oil pump, can I do the third scheduled job on the list with the wiper? That is, cleaning the engine room floor. First engineer, yes, you may. Third engineer, why don't you come back here after you're done cleaning, and I'll explain the machines in the engine room to you. Third engineer, yes, sir. I will. I don't know much about them and I've been a little worried about that.
Less attentive, not paying as much attention, less careful. M0 check, checking proper functioning of the automatic control equipment. Delivery pressure, pressure at the exit port. Suction pressure, pressure at the intake port. Accumulated, piled up, something that has collected somewhere. Suction strainer, a strainer, filter-like apparatus, fitted at the exit, discharge, port. Why don't you? You should do something. I suggest that you do something.
62 A meeting in the galley. Chief Steward, the sea is getting rough today.
Mess man, it's cloudy every day, and that gets me down. Chief Cook, yes, me, too.
Chief Steward, mess man, be careful not to trip and fall down in the galley.
Mess man, I will.
Chief Steward, Chief Cook, you be careful with the knives.
Chief Cook, yes, I will. It is very slippery in the galley, mess man be very careful. Mess man, I always wear safety shoes. I'll be careful.
Chief Steward, and remember, you don't need to hurry. Carry the dishes slowly and steadily. And don't put any pitchers or glasses on the table, even for a short while, because they can easily fall off when the sea's this rough.
Chief Cook, we should change the menu for dinner.
Chief Steward, you're right. We should reduce the number of dishes and make the menu simpler. We should forget about the soup.
Chief Cook, maybe we should change the lunch menu, too, so that we can use the ingredients that we defrosted for dinner for lunch.
Chief Steward, good idea. Let's change it. Chief Cook, write up the menus now. Mess man, be careful not to get your hands caught in the door when you take out the food. Maybe the two of you should do it together. One of you can hold the door, and the other gets the food out.
Gets me down, makes me feel bad or sad. Mess man. A low-rank sailor usually in charge of janitorial work or helping in the kitchen. Trip and fall down, get caught on something and fall to the ground. Steadily, in a firm, stable manner, slowly but surely. Pitcher, container for serving water, milk, juice, etc. Reduce, to decrease, lessen, make smaller. Ingredient, substances used to make something else. Defrosted, to thaw, bring frozen material to room temperature. Thanks for watching. If you like my content, please don't hesitate to press the like button. If you want to be updated when I post new videos, hit subscribe. I hope you enjoy.